Cool. Alright, so how about swirling and randomizing these particles so that it looks more like snow, like they're floating around. Okay, so we're going to introduce you with some turbulence, and that's something that we can use to kind of give it a more turbulent feel and look. Okay, so let's see what that does. Okay, so I think it's looking pretty good so far. Let's go ahead and click on the particles. Now what I want to do now is that now that we got it looking okay, let's go ahead and go to File, Save Scene As, and we're going to do this on 7. Now you can see that I start with the snow and the rain because they're fairly simple, and it gets a little more challenging as we go along, and it should, but these are kind of fun, so spend some time and do some fun stuff with your scene, and I'll leave it up to you guys. We get the simulation looking good, then everything will be pretty cool. I do want you to add trees though, I think that's going to be helpful. Just make sure everything's sticking okay. Right. So that looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and go back, select the particle system, and let's go ahead and add a field. So let's talk about some fields. So we got air that blows the snowflakes around. We got drag that kind of tells where the particles should go. Gravity pulls everything down. Newton basically pulls it in certain directions, and radial and turbulence is what we want to look at. Okay, we're going to hit all of these in one of the assignment, or for module 2. For module 1, we're just going to click on turbulence. There we go. There's the turbulence field. Let's see how that works. Now, where is it at? So it's at the 4 key. Click on the turbulence field, and there it is. It's at the bottom. So where do we want to place this? We want to kind of get the turbulence going about right where it hits the trees. It's kind of out of sight, right? There we go. And it's right in the middle of the scene. Okay. We just moved it up. Alright, so turbulence. Magnitude at 5. Let's bring this back a little bit and see what happens when we're bringing this around. And you can see that it's adding a little more turbulence to the snow. Okay. All right, so to really see it now, let's go ahead and turn it up to something like 20, and you should be able to really see what's happening. Sometimes you got to go to the extreme. Let's go ahead and you can see right when it's going through there, you can see that it's turbulent. So that really is pretty amazing what's happening there. Okay, so you can see what's happening. It's almost like a snow globe. That's a little bit too much. It's actually stirring stuff up from the bottom because we don't have enough gravity to stop it. So actually it gives you that snow globe effect. Okay, it doesn't work for this scene, so we'll have to kind of turn this turbulence down. And if we do want a larger or higher turbulence, we're going to need to go in there and turn the gravity up a little bit. So let's go ahead and set this to something like 10. Okay, that way we don't stir stuff up at the bottom or on the trees. So let's see if that'll work. That looks pretty good. It's still stirring stuff up. So let me stop this a minute and bring that up as far as I can go. There we go. And I'm just watching the bottom here. And I suppose, snowflakes do get blown around. It's not like they don't. Okay. But it's still a little bit too much. So what we're going to do is, what about if we take let's go in here, add the particle. Let's go ahead and add gravity, which we haven't done yet, to pull it down a little bit. And so I'm going to click on the particle itself. Now you have to highlight it and go ahead and create. Now gravity is way too high at 9.8, so let's just do 1. Okay. And let's go ahead and play the simulation. Okay. Okay, so now you can see that turbulence is working, but the scene itself, the turbulence isn't as noticeable, but it is working fairly well. Really like that. And let's see here. Let's go to the particle or the emitter. Let's go to the emitter and find out what's going on there. And the speed. Let's go ahead and turn that speed back down to 1, because we've already got gravity pulling it down. So we want to kind of we want to have the turbulence work a little bit before it gets down to the bottom. So that looks pretty good. I like that. Okay. And if we want fluffier snow, we can go ahead and turn the speed down to 0. That. So it slows it down a little bit. Okay. And let's go ahead and turn the gravity field down to even, something like 0.5. And we still need a gravity field to pull this down so that the particles don't start flowing back up again. So yeah, that looks pretty good. Yep, I think that'll work. I think we got our snow looking pretty good. And you got turbulence in there, so we got all these, the emitter, the particles, the turbulence field, and the gravity all working together. Okay, so now we can kind of create our scene. Now what I would do is go ahead and save again what you have so far. Gotten so far, I'd hate to have you lose everything. Okay. And so what about color? Okay, so we've got everything's white. So what you can do is you want to make sure your particles are selected. Let's go all the way back here to particle shape 1. And in here we want points. Okay, so let's go ahead and do current render type. We can do point size differences here. So I can do like 4. And that's a little bit too much. How about 2? Okay, that's a little bit bigger. So I got some large flakes. And what are we going to do for color? Right? So color is right here. So particles are different than just adding a material. You have to color them in a specific way per particle. And so I'm going to click on color, and you can see that this little attribute comes up, and we want to click on add per particle attribute. So click add attribute. Now the particles turn black, which is kind of funny. So what we want to do is next to RGB per particle PP, we can right click over this and go to create ramp. Alright, great. Now the particle should turn white. So now I'm going to right click over this and go to the array mapper and go to edit ramp. Okay, so these are going to be white, so let's go ahead and click that off and click another one in here, and so these particles are going to be white. Okay, that's pretty much it for the ramp, because snow is snow. Frozen snow looks white. Let's see what that looks like. What's happened here? snow just disappeared. That is really weird. Huh. Well, that's interesting. Let's go to the emitter, or the particle itself. Particle shape. Lifespan constant. Random range. Oh, something must have got changed here. Live forever. That got changed. So, alright. I don't know how that got changed, but now you know where to fix it. For some reason. That's crazy. Alright, so let's go back in here to our scene. Now we got some white snow, which is great. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened or what caused it to do that. Maybe I clicked on that accidentally. But that needs to be live forever. Normally I would do a random range or a constant, but for some reason that got turned on. So now you know how to fix that though. Alright, so here's our scene now. I'm going to get a little closer to everything so it looks more like a scene. I'm going to get rid of this guy right here. This is our winter wonderland. Okay, so for fun, let's do like now let's save this scene. Okay, save scene as. There we go. And let's do 9. There we go. Okay, I would save your scene a lot. So if you need to go back, you can do that. So I'm going to add a 0 to this. Instead of 500, I'm going to do 5,000. So this is going to be a serious snowstorm. So let's go ahead and play that. Now be ready if your system crashes. This is going to be a lot of particles coming down. Let's see what happens here. And it is slowing down because I've got 5,000 per second. And pretty soon I have a really good graphics card, so I would probably stop. I'm going to stop right now because it's chugging pretty bad. So you can see that that's not really working, but it's really cool that you can see where the trees are and how the particles are starting to build up around here. That's pretty cool. Let's bring that back down to something like 1,000 instead of 500. We'll do 1,000. I think your system will be able to handle that. What you could do too is, if your system is not able to handle that, you can go to your particle shape and change the live forever to be random range, and you could do lifespan as something like, oh, let's just say 8, and let's put 1 on there. And so let's go ahead and play that. So 8 seconds, we want the particles to actually hit the ground and start sticking on stuff before they go away. And see, now that that looks a little bit better, because snow usually collects a little bit and then it thaws, right? Or if it's warm enough outside, it doesn't really collect that fast. So this will allow you to do more snow if you add a random range where the snow actually dies away. Let's go ahead and just leave it like this for now, so we don't have a huge amount of accumulation. a lot of times snow will hit the ground and just kind of blend in anyway, so that'll work just fine. Okay. So great, this is it. This is your scene. It's not too hard to do to create snow. So go ahead and pause that, or stop it, go back, and save your scene. Save scene as, and I want you to put your name on the last one. So something like your first initial, your last name, and then underscore snow. Okay. And you can put something like underscore finish, FIN, if you want to. Okay. And save that. And that's the MB file that you're going to give me. And then you'll do a play blast. Okay. So you play blast, go in here to the option box. Now, if you're using Windows, you're going to have to download the Xvid plugin. It is free and it's very lightweight. It's very small. I think it's like 30 megabytes. And so when you download it, all you have to do is double click on it from the desktop. Double click on it and go ahead and install it. And then you need to turn off Maya, open it back up again, and then when you do a play blast, you should be able to see that in the menu here. Okay, it's not much you have to do. It's pretty easy. But Xvid for Windows, that is a requirement. And then for Macintosh, it will, I think you'll have H.264. So I want an AVI though, because QuickTime is not playable on the Windows anymore. So I have to make sure that you use AVI. Okay, so let's go back in here. So we have view, which we're looking through the view. You don't want to show ornaments, so you can turn that off. AVI, Xvid, or H.264 for Macintosh. So let's do Xvid. Quality at 100. And then scale at 1, and then frame padding at 3. Temporary file, you want to remove that, yes, and save file, yes. And we want to rename this jbyers, then underscore snow. Okay, and I'm going to highlight this and do a Control C. I'm going to go into Browse, and where do I want to put it? On the desktop, and I'm going to go Control B on that. So name it jbyers snow, and click on Save. Then click Play Blast, and then it takes a while. This is a very long animation, 800 frames. It's going fairly. Oh, it's not 800, 600 frames. It's going fairly quickly. All right, looks very cool. I'm very happy with that. Let's get this done, and it takes a while for it to play back again. So I've seen it wait for a little while, and then I've even seen it get stuck. Hopefully it doesn't get stuck. It's going to play it for you, but it's on your desktop, and that looks pretty good. Got a little snow scene, and that looks really nice. I like that. So have fun playing with the scene and adding to it. Right, so that is it. Go ahead and close that, and save your scene one more time if you're paranoid about that, and then you're done. And I will see you for module 2. So make sure you give me the MB file, and if you want to get the full 100 points, make sure the simulation looks good, looks just like mine, and your scene. Do a good job, and you should have no problem getting the 100 points. I look forward to seeing all you guys' work, and enjoy and have fun and make it your own scene. I love that when you guys add your own style to it. So have fun with it, and I will see you in module 2. Have a great week.